Hi, Liberators. This is Tiffany Coleman again. I'm so sorry we had an interruption with the first part of the episode. So I want to go back and get a couple of things that we talked about, and then we're going to finish it up. So for some of you, this is part two of our Money Matters talk with Miss Candace Young, who is the credit queen. And she's been giving us some wonderful insights on how on credit and how to utilize it, which I think is so important. And the question that we were talking about before the interruption happened is we're talking about changing the narrative about credit so we can help people stop being afraid of it. And how do we change the narrative? What do we need to do? How do we reframe it? Where do we go? If somebody's like today, hey, I want to stop being afraid of this thing, where do we go from here?
For me, I think what's worked so well for me is the education piece, is understanding what credit is, understanding what it can do for you, and understanding that it could get ugly, right? Like if you don't do what you need to do and you don't properly handle your credit, it could get bad for you, right? And, I've seen people not get approved for apartments or even bank accounts, right? Like you need credit for everything. I mean, there's like everything, everywhere you go. I remember a couple years ago going to Ideal Image for laser hair removal. They pulled my credit, right? Like they pulled my credit. Like I could have paid it free and clear. They still pulled my credit because this is something I was like, wow, okay. I didn't know that was going to happen, right? So when you think about all the things that you need credit for, it's worth educating yourself. It's worth at least trying, right? So not being afraid of it by just never utilizing it, but try it, right? There are people that I meet who are not fans of credit. Understandable, right? But you don't know if you're a fan of credit if you don't try it, just like anything else. So besides the things that you have to use your credit for, car notes, apartments, renting certain things, renting a car, right? What are you doing on an individual level to utilize credit and understand it? Or have you tried a secured card, right? Maybe your score is not good enough to get just a regular credit card. Try a secured card, right? And consistently educate yourself. Read up on it. Read up on what's the best way to utilize it. Read up on what's the best way to pay it. And just continue to educate yourself. So when you know so much about something, it can't hurt you. You know what I mean? Like when you are really, really educated about something and you know the ins and outs, it can't hurt you. But if you go into the world thinking like, oh, somebody just gave me $1,000, like, yeah, of course it's gonna be bad. Of course you're not gonna you're gonna hate credit cards and hate creditors because they're calling you 10 times a day because 3 years ago they lent you $1,000 and you just stopped paying them.
They want their money back.
That's it. Just like anybody would want their money back.
Exactly. Exactly. This has been so like informative. Like my mind was blown a couple of times in a good way.
That's awesome.
And you also kind of like helped me to realize there's some things I gotta get into shape.
I'm here
But
for
I think
you,
also I appreciate you because I will be hitting you up. But I think
Please
that's
do.
another tool we need to utilize, y'all. And for those who are listening, I'm pointing at her. People like you, we need to utilize you because you do a great service for people to help them not to be afraid of it, and to actually give people action steps and set goals that they can achieve to help them get to where it is they want to be.
Thank you.
And if somebody wants to utilize your services and contact you, and y'all know how we can be, but this is a service she is providing, and you need to be willing to pay her for her services. This is not something that is free, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, because she's doing some serious work that's going to help you for years to come. So we need to be prepared to pay her, and she's not that inexpensive. It's not that inexpensive. Start off 15 for $15. Just don't get your coffee 5 days a week. Just for 1 week, don't get no coffee.
That's it.
Make it at
That's
home.
it.
Make it at home, y'all.
Make
You
it
have
at
a
home,
Keurig.
and we
You
can
know,
chop it
Granville,
up.
you have a Keurig. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
get you some K cups.
So if we want to utilize your services and pay you for said services, where do we go and how do we find you?
So typically I'm very active on my Instagram, which is Your Credit Queen. That's my handle.
Mm-hmm.
You can friend me on Facebook. I'm huge on Facebook as well. I've got a ton of friends, and I'm happy to accept new faces that want to do business and learn about their credit. And my name is
Absolutely.
Candace Young.
Mm-hmm.
There are probably a few others to pull up, but my handle is on my bio, so that's how you'll be able to know. It'll say Your Credit Queen in my bio on
Gotcha.
Facebook. But yeah, and my email. I know it's a little long, but
Okay. Okay.
it's Candace Young, which is my first and last name,
Mm-hmm.
and co, so ANDCO
Mm-hmm.
at Gmail.
Gmail, and I'll also post that in the description below, as
Perfect.
well as her Instagram handle and all of that stuff.
Nice.
And yes, I secretly stalk her on Instagram. And I
Ditto.
had to kind of have had to have her on the show. And so I thought it was we need to help each other. And y'all, when y'all go see her, don't ask her for no freebies. This is not what this is about. Okay. So I don't want my listeners coming to her with no mess. You got to come there ready to work and ready to hear the truth about what it is going on.
Okay.
Because don't get in your feelings, because if you want to get it right, you got to get this work done.
Mhm.
And just based off of the discussion I've had with her tonight, she's going to shoot straight with you.
You already
So,
know.
exactly, a little too straight. No, but it is what it is. So yeah, so hit her up on Instagram so we can level up. 2020 has been a bad year. Let's finish strong. Let's
Let's
finish
finish strong.
strong and get our credit in line. Okay, that's one thing we can't
Absolutely.
control. A lot of stuff out here we can't control that's going on. I won't say 2020 has been bad, but it's been rough in a lot of ways. This is something we can control, we can fix, and we can put our hands on it and get to it, and it'll get us to a better place, y'all. So come on, let's level up. Let's
Let's
level
do
up.
it. Let's do it. I'm here for you.
Candace, it has been a complete joy and an honor to have you on the show. I would love to have you back to talk about business credit, because that's something that I
Absolutely.
think will help us too if we're going to be entrepreneurs and stuff. And we can set that up at a later date.
Absolutely.
But please hit her up and let her know how great this was, and then also just to get you, let's get ourselves in order.
Let's do it.
Um,
I look forward
yes,
to hearing from you guys, and it was absolutely an honor and pleasure to be here today. So thank you so much for having me.
thank you. And as always, liberators, you can go to www.liberated-media.com to find out the latest and greatest of Liberated Media, as well as hit us up on Facebook. And y'all, I'm working on an Instagram page. I just don't feel like it, okay? But I'm working on it. I'm trying to build it. So y'all be patient with me. But always remember, when you deal with anyone, always deal with them in honesty and integrity, because it is always the truth that sets us free.